Welcome everyone to this session of NanoG Spring Meeting. I introduce myself as Dr. Pankaj Bharmoria. I'm a Marie Curie postdoc in Professor Kasper's lab at Chalmers University of Technology, Sweden. And today I shall be sharing our research on photon upconverting bioplastics with high efficiency and in-air durability on the behalf of my co-authors. So photon upconversion is a process wherein low energy photons, they are converted into high energy photons. And you can see over here, when a molecule is excited at low energy, it emits at a high energy. This process is very, very useful for many applications. And one of the application is in solar cells, because by using photon upconverting material, we can increase the efficiency of the solar cells beyond Stokely-Queisser limit up to 44% by capturing the transmitted sub-band gap photon and upconverting them to the band gap responsive light of the solar cells. And the photon upconversion process on which we are working in our lab is triplet annihilation based molecular photon upconversion. And in this process, this is a Jablonski diagram of the triplet annihilation based photon upconversion process. It is comprised of a multi-chromophore system of sensitizer and annihilator. And when sensitizer is excited at low energy, it goes to the triplet state by intersystem crossing, and then it transfers its triplet energy to the sleeping triplets of the annihilator. So when two such sensitized triplets of the annihilator, they meet in the space-time, they undergo triplet annihilation, resulting in the formation of a high energy singlet state, which radiates the anti-Stokes delay fluorescence via photon upconversion. However, most of the TTUC-based system, they have been explored in the deoxygenated organic solvent, but for the practical integration to the solar cells, they're required to be prepared specifically in the solid state. But there are a lot of limitations of the existing solid state TTUC-based materials. And among them are the aggregation-induced quenching of the chromophore, and second one is the molecular oxygen-induced triplet quenching of the chromophore. And to circumvent this issue, strategies were developed wherein the liquid chromophore solution was trapped inside the polymer network. But what happened is that with the passage of the time, the organic liquid that evaporates, resulting in the phase separation of the dye and the polymer, and ultimately a decrease in the efficiency. So when I was working as a postdoc in a Kimizuka laboratory at Kyushu University, Japan, we thought of an idea that why not to stabilize the viscous organic liquid in the biopolymer. We choose viscous organic liquid because of the fact that it has a high vapor pressure. So it will be very difficult to evaporate it at room temperature with the passage of time. And the biopolymer we particularly choose because they are comprised of various polar and non-polar domains, so they can emulsify the surfactant for their nice dispersion inside the protein film. So these were our key targets, that was to avoid the fluorescence quenching of the chromophore and protect the triplet state from the quenching by molecular oxygen, and trapping the liquid inside the polymer matrix for significant molecular diffusion of the chromophore for higher TTUC efficiency. So this is the outline of our research that we have done, and for that we took a chromophore annihilator, diphenylanthracene sulfonate, platinum octaethyl porphyrin as a sensitizer, Titan X100 as a liquid surfactant, and gelatin as a biopolymer matrix. So when the aqueous solution of this component was casted on a glass plate and air dried for 48 hours, it resulted in the formation of a solid TTUC film. This is the structure of the film, where you can see that the liquid droplets, they are dispersed inside the polymer network. This structure was revealed from various characterization techniques like cross-section SCM, and you can see the liquid droplets of the Titan X100 inside the polymer network. And the presence of Titan X100 as a liquid inside the protein film was also conferred from DSC thermogram, and you can see the DSC of the film, and we could see the peak for liquid Titan X100 at 6 degrees Celsius. Since gelatin is itself a semi-crystalline in its native state. So we further analyze whether after doping with a surfactant liquid, whether its semi-crystalline nature is retained or not. So from dark field polarized microscopy and the powder X-ray diffraction, we confirmed it that the film is semi-crystalline in nature. Then we investigated the photon upconversion property of the film. And you can see when the film is excited at 532 nanometer laser, then it showed upconversion emission, the blue upconversion emission. And this is the upconversion emission spectra showing the decrease in the donor phosphorescence and increase in the annihilator's upconversion emission, which indicates higher triplet energy transfer from the donor to the acceptor and further high efficiency of the TTUC. For practical integration with the solar cell, it is mandatory that the solid state TTUC material, they should show the upconversion at high efficiency at low excitation intensity. So we measured for this film the low threshold excitation intensity, which is 14 milliwatt centimeter inverse, equivalent to 14 suns, and upconversion efficiency of 15.6%. Moreover, the film is very, very durable for 2 years, and half of the upconversion properties, they were retained even after 2 years of storage in the air. Then we checked the oxygen stability of the film, and the film is very, very oxygen stable, which was indicated by the long triplet lifetime. But then we wanted to see how does the oxygen stability comes into the film. So for that one, we did a comparative experiment of the time-dependent upconversion emission of the native Titan X100 liquid in the air and the film in the air. So you can see in this slide that the upconversion emission decreased in the Titan X100 liquid. However, it remained stable in the film when there's a gelatin. So it proved the fact that gelatin is actually acting as a oxygen barrier to protect the triplets from quenching by the molecular oxygen. Then we measure the thermomechanical properties of the film, which are very, very important for their device integration. And the film was found to be very, very mechanically stable from dynamic mechanical analysis. And we measure the temperature dependent upconversion emission by heating the film to 65 degrees Celsius and then cooling to 20 degrees Celsius. And we found that after cooling to 25 degrees Celsius, the film recovered all of its upconversion properties very, very nicely. So showed very nice thermoreversibility of the upconversion emission. Then we wanted to decode the TTUC mechanism in the film, and as we predicted that since the chromophores are in the liquid droplets, so there should be a molecular diffusion of the chromophores. So we measured temperature-dependent upconversion emission intensity and triplet lifetime for the film, and we found that the upconversion emission intensity is the highest at 25 degrees Celsius, but when the temperature is lowered below 25 degrees Celsius, then the upconversion emission intensity decrease. That could be due to the suppressed diffusion of the chromophores. Also, at high temperature, the intensity is lower, but in that case, other factors like change in the structure of the gelatin that comes into play. But however, we could confirm that at room temperature, the chromophore have high molecular diffusion. That's why they undergo high triplet annihilation and show very high upconversion efficiency. So to further confirm the high molecular diffusion of the chromophore at room temperature in the film, we did comparative analysis of the upconversion properties of the D-gas Titan X100 liquid at room temperature and compared it with the film at minus 10 degrees Celsius. And we found that similar upconversion properties like triplet lifetime and I threshold for these two systems, which also proved the fact that although the film containing Titan X100 has a viscosity at minus 10 degrees Celsius, which is similar to the native Titan X100 liquid at room temperature. It means at room temperature, the viscosity of the TX100 liquid trapped inside the film is lower. That's why there's a lower viscosity and there's a high molecular diffusion. So it is a good evidence of the fact that low viscosity of the Titan X100 liquid in the film is assisting the high molecular diffusion for high upconversion efficiency. These are the conclusions of our research. So we could prepare a very nice bioplastic film where the liquid chromophore, they were dispersed in the form of droplets inside a polymer matrix, which is oxygen blocker, and the film is very, very transparent. And this film is very oxygen stable, and it showed very high up conversion efficiency of 15.6% in air, and the film is durable for 2 years actually. And this film could mimic the liquid TTUC system in the solid state, which is very good. And ultimately, this is a bioplastic material, and it is very cheap and biosustainable, which is one of the chief requirements for developing sustainable energy materials. Finally, I would like to thank my funders, that is Japan Society of Promotion of Sciences Japan for postdoctoral fellowship, and Marie Curie European Commission for the Marie Curie postdoctoral fellowship. This research is recently published in Journal of Material Chemistry C. So you can visit the homepage of Journal of Material Chemistry C to know further about this research. And thank you very much for your kind attention. And now I'm open to any question related to this research. Thank you.